digo que sigas tu camino y a todo termino.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Blocc Report. It's your boy Kicks.
And I'm Half Ounce, and today we're blessed to have Twixxy up in the building.
What's up, Twixxy? Welcome to the Blocc.
What's happening?
Lo siento, no podré volverte a enamorar. De ti ya no es lo mismo.
Well, for those people that don't know who you are, let them know who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
So my name is Twixxy 818, and I'm from the San Fernando Valley. I'm from all of the West Coast, LA, everywhere. Latina. My parents are from Guadalajara. I was born in the city of Van Nuys, and I like to sing Spanish, mariachi, and anything. So I'm just really passionate about singing on stage and interacting with people in another level.
So when did you first find out your act for music? Like, was it young or was it a little later in your years?
Yeah, so when I was like 7 years old, my sister was part of a group that was called Melissa and the Homies, and my mom had her singing like she was hardcore, you know. My sister hated it so much. She'd be like, practice a cantar, and she had my sister sang like at the House of Blues, you know. She had her singing a lot of places, and I would always tell my mom, like, you know, before I was like, you know, thinking about what I wanted to be, and I'm like, I want to, you know, be a singer. And then I told my mom, and so that's how it came about.
So when she went out there and said, hey, you got to hear my daughter sing, you know, you got to have her on the show, she was the one to get the hookups, so to speak.
Yeah, she definitely like has been like the most person to, it gets annoying, man, you know. We're at parties, andale Diana, canta una canción, I'm just like, oh my god, like I already know it's coming when we go somewhere. She just like makes me sing.
Right.
But
Now you know what Selena felt like.
yeah.
Now, to be so young like that, you know, how was your family? Was it a big family, a small family? How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 sisters. With my dad, it's my older sister. She's 28, and then my younger sister, she's 20. And then my mom remarried, and she had 3 more babies, and my baby brothers and sisters, and one of them is 9, the other one's 7, and then my baby brother, he's 1.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. It's like I have kids of my own. I went to Grand High School, and I went to East Valley High School. In middle school, I went to Milligan, and then I went to Madison Middle School.
Okay.
I got kicked out of a lot of schools.
Now, what school were you most known for? Like, where did they know you the most at?
Were you shy, popular? Were you?
I was like that one kid that was like not popular, but like I knew everybody. Like I knew the popular kids, they knew me, but I was more like low key, I guess. But everybody knew who like I was and everything. And I guess East Valley High School is like where they knew me because I sang there like before lunch once. Like there was a mariachi there. And then my friends were like, come on, like sing a song. And then I sang a song. And then we had a dean that was like really like if the bell rang, he was like, get to class, like everybody, you know. But that day the bell rang, and then I was singing. He's like, no, hold up, it's okay, keep going. And like I kept singing like the mariachi song, and everybody remembers me from singing that day as well, because like it was a big crowd at school.
Can you imagine? That's the day you didn't go to school.
Wow. She straight up made him stop the bell. That's crazy, you know what I mean?
My favorite food as a child, and still like I guess it kind of passed on to my adulthood, was hot fries. So I was obsessed with hot fries.
Andy's hot fries?
I would take pictures of my hot fries and then just like put it as my like screen, like my wallpaper. I was like, I love hot fries, like chips.
We got your hot fries, so what was your favorite cartoon? What would you sit down and watch?
What did you grow up on?
What'd you grow up on?
Definitely SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Patrick or Mr.
Hell yeah.
Or Mr. Krabs?
Who would you rather?
Patrick or Mr. Patrick or Mr. Krabs? Oh, Patrick all the way.
You're now with Trejo, Danny Trejo, Mr. Machete himself. How did you meet Trejo?
So how we came together was like a long time ago. Like me, my mom, like we were homeless, like we had lost like our house, and what happened was like my tia, she was like, "Ira Diana, like there's gonna be a competition," and she's like, "Deberías de ir," and so like we went, and I went with like one of my homegirls, and I was like a really like troublemaker like as a kid, like we took a ghetto taxi there, and like we ditched the taxi when we got off. It was really bad.
Shout out to the taxi cab driver that got ditched.
we like van a ser $20, and we're just like get off the car like, and then we get there, right, and it's like right there in San Fernando, like the heart of San Fernando, and we go in there, and then I talked to this lady that was in charge of, it was called the Kidney Quest Foundation, and so to get into the foundation, you had to be over 18. So I said my name was Chavela Rosales, and I was 19. So I signed up and everything, and I got in, but they found out till later that I was not like 19. But it was after I won the trophy and everything. Yeah. So this is what happened. Like so then that day, like I told my mom on the day of the competition, when it was already that day, I told her like, hey guys, look, so I have a competition already this day. If you guys want to come see me, like come through. And mom's like, everybody's like, okay. And I freaking booked it. I got on the bus on my way to the competition, and then I get there, and I'm nervous and everything, and
Is there a lot of people there?
there was a lot of people. Yeah, there was. And I sang that day, I think Rolling in the Deep and Demasiado Tarde.
That's a good song to flex your vocals.
Yeah.
Actually, Rolling in the Deep is a really good song.
Yeah.
How
That's what I'm
did you say you were?
Right there I was like, I think like 15.
15.
Yeah. And then, so then there was like 3 judges, and one of the judges, his name was like Rudy Esquivel. And so after the competition was over, like it was like, between me and some like other girls, and then they chose me. I won, and they was like, the prize was like you get like $300, and then you get like 3 like free classes in Hollywood, but you obviously had to be like over 18.
Yeah.
And then you get like a little trophy that my dad has in his like little where you know. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm a fuck up, but like when I see that, I'm like, man, I take pride in that little trophy.
That trophy gets harder.
Yeah. So then from there, Rudy, he wanted to start managing me. So then he started managing me, and then that's when he had like a 3-day night where his brother, I think his name is Gilbert Esquivel. He does like comedy, and so he had like a 3-night show. And I performed those nights, and there was like people like coming to see me because like they really liked the way I sang. Yeah. And so the 3rd night, Danny came, and then I didn't like, they were like, do you know who that is? That's Danny Trejo. And he heard me sing. He was there with Mario Castillo. And then after that night, they were just like, wow, like we really like how you sing. Like, can you guys come to the studio? Like we really want to like work with you.
What year was this at this point now?
This was probably like when I was 15, so I'm 24 now. So,
About 10 years ago?
yeah, like 10 years ago. And yeah, so that's how I met Danny, and then, we started doing music.
Do you know what brought Danny there that day, other than destiny? I mean, was there?
He's like, I'm here to get my girl. Let's roll, girl. Come on, Twixxy, let's get out.
Have you ever asked him what was the reason he was there?
I actually never have. That's a trip. I never actually. He probably went there to watch like the comedy show or something.
Interesting.
To just you.
That's an
Yeah.
interesting question you'd want to ask him. Like, what was the reason that you went that day?
Yeah.
What lessons did you learn from that? From meeting, like getting that competition, from meeting Rudy and all this destiny happened together.
Yeah.
Did you learn a lesson too? Like, because a lot of people don't take opportunity. So I'm a firm believer in people taking every opportunity.
Nothing's too small, nothing too big. You never know what can come out of a situation. Because you
Yeah.
never expected Danny Trejo to be in there that day.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And where did you perform that?
That was like in Ventura. It was like this it's like kind of like a little White House, but it's like a place where like people throw like parties and like events and stuff like that. Rap battles with people. Like I've had like rap battles like when I was like younger, and like I actually took a lot of people out. There was this one time, for instance, I'll never forget in my life, where I was having a rap battle with like one guy, and I took him out, and then there was another one who came in, and I beat him, and they were like, "Oh, we bet you can't beat the homegirl," and her name was Clover.
Oh.
And they bring her out, and then we start rap battling, and I beat her, and she's like, at the end she's like, all right, she shakes cool, man. It turns out like she went to like my high school, and then we became cool later, but like she never mentioned the battle and everything. But I used to like battle. I used to like, yeah, I rapped.
Did you go under Twixxy as a rapper, or were you like, what was your rap name?
What's the early rap?
Twixxy's been the name all the time, like the only name.
How did you get the name Twixxy?
Because I was like super skinny when I was like little, like Twix that is like super skinny, like.
Also, Twixxy stick.
Yeah, so my sister would call me a twig. So when I was in I was in 6th grade, and then she was like calling me a twig. And then one day after school, I'm like, in my head, like I remember how I came up with the name Twixxy. Like I was like in 6th grade, and I'm like, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna find my name. And for some reason, it was like, I don't know why, but it was like based off Twig. But then I started writing like Twig, Twixxy, Then I was like, Twixxy's the one.
But that mind state you said, I'm gonna go home and find my name.
Yeah, like I'll never forget that for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
it's
that's
in
what
my
I trip
heart.
out on. I'll be like, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna find my MC name or my name. You know what I mean? And you found it.
Now, I know you mentioned too that you dealt with some addiction, while you were recording. How did that influence your music, and how did you go about getting off of that? I know there's many people out there that possibly are in the same position that you were in at one point in time. How hard was it?
It was really hard for me. Like I tried to get sober a lot of times, and like I couldn't get sober on my own. So I had to like go to jail. I had to like, I went through a lot of stuff that I had to like go through, and I made it to the other side, thank God. And like now I just try to always stick to like advice that like other people have like that got sober, they they give me, because I know before I was like, I know I could get sober by myself, like I don't need rehab, I don't need no help. That's like the way I was like thinking before. But then after trying so many times to get sober, it's like eventually I would go back to it. So then I had to start like letting people give me advice, and maybe I was like, maybe I should try what they're trying to tell me and stuff.
Curious, because I'm assuming that this is all within the 10-year span that you've been dealing with Trejo, right? What were Trejo's words? Because I'm sure you guys had these conversations, because we all know Trejo's past and background, so he's familiar with these issues. What would you say? Can you shed some light on what Trejo's advice was to you at that time, where you were dealing with your demons?
Yeah, he just like wanted me to get better. He wanted me to have like a clear mind, and like what he said yesterday was like, you have to take care of your gift, and he wanted me to like be sober, not partying, and he didn't want me to get lost, if anything, like even more with like, if ever like, let's just say we did keep making music and I made it like before, like maybe I would have never stopped doing, I don't know.
What are some words of wisdom that you would give somebody else dealing with addiction?
I would just say like put your pride aside, and just like accept that like you need help, and that your way is not always gonna, your way, if your way is not working, maybe you should let somebody that's like already walked that path like let you help you out.
When did you finally decide that at what point did you figure out you were over it? Because a change has to come within. So at what point did you hit that you said enough is enough? What was the night that it hit Twixxy where that's it? Tomorrow morning, I'm done. Do you remember? Can you recall the events of that night that helped you?
Yeah, I just like oh, I had like gone to jail, and then they, you know, I met girls in there, and females that were just like kind of already used to that like programming. So I'm just like, I would talk to them and they would be like, I was just in here, you know, like, you know, and to me, I was just kind of looking around like, fuck, like, do I really want to keep coming to this place? And do it like, keep, you know, like live this life over like just getting high and shit, you know? But obviously like the drug is like more powerful than yourself sometimes. And I went to rehab, and then, you know, went in there, like Danny dropped me off there. Yeah, him and Mario dropped me off in rehab, and I like failed. Like when I was in detox, I like got, somebody had drugs in there, and I got high, and then we got caught inside the rehab, and so I was like, I'm done. Like they're gonna kick me out. I'm gonna be on the run, gonna be on probation. But that like counselor was like, gave me another chance, and there was these ladies that like came to the rehab, and they were like talking about, you know, like program and like what they did and all that. And I was just hearing people talking about like getting a sponsor. So I'm like, all right, like, let me just get a sponsor. I was still like, you know, like fighting my demons. And so I got a sponsor, and then she was like, call me every day, like, here's some work that I want you to work on. And I was like, you know, I got offered some drugs again, and I like, it literally, like, I had like a shield in a way. I was like, fuck, like, I don't want to do this, you know. And I did the work, you know. I went and I did like the step work that she asked me to do, and I called her, and I don't know why that like helped me. And ever since then, I just kept going and shit. And I even used to like smoke like cigarettes. And, you know, my tío Ruben, like, he tells me, like, because, you know, like, when it was like my 3-year anniversary, I was like sad that like not a lot of like people like that I'm close to were like, oh, like, you know, Twixxy's like, it's her 3-year birthday, like I take it like really like serious. But in a way, I made a big deal, and he was just kind of like, oh, like, mija, te debería, no te lo voy a decir en una mala manera, pero te debería de dar vergüenza, like, decir, you know, like, estoy sobria de las drogas y todo eso, like, y estaba homeless y todo eso. I'm like, but tío, I'm like, I'm not embarrassed of that. Like, I used to be, and I know like some people will judge me and look at me different after like hearing my story, but I'm just like, I feel like I went through that for a reason, and I feel like if I share about it, then people know, like, you know, they can hear my story and like be inspired by it, or they could see that there's like hope. Because I was like hopeless. I was destined to like almost die already, like the way I was going.
So now you're clean, you're sober, you're doing music, life's turning around for Twixxy. Then you go vegetarian. So what brought you to that level? Because you went from unclean to clean, then from clean to super clean. So how did you get fabuloso with your life? Like what?
It's like coming like.
What started inspiring you to go even cleaner? How did that come about?
I'm like, so when I was a little kid, like my dad, like they told me that like we eat from like animals, and I'm like, I've, you know, found out how like animals get killed and they get like slaughtered and all that. And when I was a little kid, I was like, I'm not eating meat anymore. But I was like really small, like 10. And my dad was like, ¿Cómo de que no? Aquí te vas a comer todo lo que hay en tu, you know, I would sit there on the table and like I would, you know, pick aside my meat. But then eventually, like, I had to eat meat because, you know, like, my family didn't, like, they were just like, quítate de cosas. Like, you know, aquí se come carne. Eso no puede hacer eso. But then like when I got sober, it was like one of my like in my like my hearts of hearts that like I wanted to one day like not eat like animal. I have El Villagro Flowers. I have like my own flower business that I started because I started where I want to. So I actually have a whole dream for that as well. Like I want to start the flower business, and I want to not just like sell flowers, but I want like the flowers to be something that can like help people that, you know, suffer from like domestic violence, people that have been through a lot of stuff. I want to raise like money to open up like a sanctuary garden where I can like bring people from like different places in there, kids, like people, and just give classes, and people can find like healing in that garden. It'll be like a really quiet garden where there's like fruits and vegetables, and people, it could be like, you know, for the community as well.
How did that idea come forth? What initiated that?
So like once I got sober, I like landed a job, and they made me like a floral clerk, and to me it was like the end of the world. I'm like, no way. Like I'm like, I didn't even know flowers existed like this, and it was like super therapeutic for me, like being around flowers, and now even getting to learn like about gardening and about like vegetables, and it's pretty like it's a hard field to like get into, like a lot of work, but I feel like I like a quote that I feel like God really like resented and towards me, or not resented, but like kind of like dawned on me that because I had this idea of like building a sanctuary for the flowers, and it's kind of like, you know, the garden lives within you. That's why, you know, you like want to bring it out.
You want to flourish.
What's your favorite flower? Of all flowers that you deal with, what's your favorite one? You can say, man, I really like this flower.
I feel bad choosing like one because I feel like I would be like
all
dissing
great,
all the other
Right.
flowers.
But that one that just pops out, scent, everything. I mean, like, which one calls out to you the most?
I guess I would say like sunflowers and roses.
Who in your life would you like to go ahead and credit for where you're at in your life right now today?
I would like to credit Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo, and first of all, I'd like to thank myself. Like this
Hell yeah!
speech.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
I like to thank me.
Yeah, definitely my mom. Definitely my mom, my dad, my sisters. Yeah, definitely my mom, and especially my sister, Honey. She has like her own makeup like line as well, and does makeup. She helps me out a lot too. She drove me yesterday, so.
Nice. You could give anybody some words of encouragement. What would you tell them?
I would say like just listen to your heart, and just keep going, like keep working hard, but not working hard as in like, you know, we all have jobs, we all have like things we need to do, but I feel like we need to put in work into like our craft. So I would just say practice your craft. Definitely give it your all, always, even when you're like tired, and don't let yourself, first of all, like, you know, tell you like, oh, you can't do this, you can't make it. Like, just stop. Just, you know, you gotta ignore those thoughts. I ignore those as well all the time. Just after like a couple shows, sometimes I'll be like, what am I doing? Like, I just need to, you know, like, who am I fooling? Like, why am I doing this? And then I have to just kind of like ignore those thoughts, like you said, throw those negative thoughts away, and just keep freaking kicking ass and being a badass.
That's right.
Twixxy, thank you very much from all of us here at the Blocc Report. Appreciate your time, your talent, and look forward to what you have in the future. It's your boy Kix.
And I'm Half Ounce, and you watch another episode of the Blocc Report.
¡Viva la raza mexicana!